everyone, this is Maki. What do you think is the most important element of Hathaway's Flash? There are so many important themes that narrowing it down to just one is very difficult. If I had to choose one element and call it the most important, though it might be Hathaway's own words. In the first movie, he says, "Please tell me how to destroy this incomprehensible structure." It's not an exaggeration to say that his anguish and the cruelty of the story are packed into that line. This connects to a topic I previously discussed on my program, the question, who is Mafty's true enemy? This time, I would like to introduce one of the elements that make up that incomprehensible structure. It is a topic related to the Manhunters. I have briefly mentioned the Manhunters before. This time, I want to discuss the problems and contradictions within the organization. Now, if you would like, please consider joining the 99-cent monthly membership and supporting the Manhunters. They will continue to work hard to restore the Earth and ensure the survival of humanity. Supporters will receive a name badge and comment stamps. Now, let's begin the discussion. The Manhunters are an internal organization of the Earth's Federation government. The Earth's Federation government's mission is to prevent the extinction of the Earth's natural environment by relocating humanity into space. The Manhunters are responsible for identifying illegal Earth residents and relocating them to space. What impression did you have when you saw the Manhunters appear in the story? They come into the city to search for illegal residents. They intimidate civilians by using mobile suits. They are certainly overbearing, but you may have also felt that they are extremely hardworking. Many people probably share that impression. This is exactly one part of what Hathaway referred to as a complex structure. Shortly after this scene, Hathaway has a conversation with a taxi driver. The driver says that the natural environment necessary for our daily lives is being maintained. This viewpoint focuses only on a narrow, self-centered perspective rather than considering the Earth or humanity as a whole. As viewers, we also fall into the same way of thinking as the taxi driver. But that is unavoidable. To truly understand the reality of the Manhunters, we need to look at other stories written by Mr. Yoshiyuki Tomino. This taxi driver is desperately focused on surviving day to day. Given these circumstances, it's unreasonable to expect him to pay attention to the state of the Earth's environment or the ideology of the Earth's Federation government. To understand the true nature of the Manhunters, we must examine the concept materials for Victory Gundam. These materials are included as bonuses with the Blu-ray discs. The story takes place in Universal Centurio 153, about 50 years after the events of Hathaway's Flash. Even in this era, the Manhunters still existed. The central government, the Earth's Federation government, is of course an extremely massive organization. Within about 40 years of the start of the Universal Century, the government had already carried out the forced migration of nearly 4 billion people. Given the overwhelming power of the Earth's Federation government, it is hard to imagine a situation in which a relatively small number of illegal residents would go unchecked for over 50 years from the perspective of all humanity. How then is this described in the Victory Gundam concept materials? For Maha, the special police force, completely eradicating illegal residents would be problematic. This is because Maha itself would lose the privilege of residing on Earth if there were no more illegal residents. In this way, a mutually complementary relationship was implicitly established. The Manhunters are a profession officially recognized by the Earth Federation government. To carry out their duties, they are granted the right to reside on Earth. But what would happen if they were to crack down on and eliminate all illegal residents? According to the concept materials, once their duties are finished, the Manhunters would also be required to live in space. They do not want to give up their right to live on Earth. This is why they are not proactive about cracking down on illegal residents. The scenes in the first Hathaway movie depict moments when the Manhunters were actively doing their job. They are not the kind of people who would normally work that hard. Then, is it a bad thing that the Manhunters are not proactive about their work? Does that mean they commit wrongdoing based on their own judgments? That is not the case. This is also written in the Victory Gundam concept materials. The existence of illegal residents was something that humanity's instincts recognized as a situation that had to be tolerated as a result of forcefully pushing forward the policy of space migration. There were also cases where people tacitly accepted illegal residents living on Earth. In other words, until more than 1,000 years have passed in an era where humanity lives in space colonies, and it has been confirmed that humanity can survive in space, the instinct of humanity as a species has judged that the presence of people living on Earth must be tolerated. This is an ambiguous judgment that living organisms possess instinctively. This is one reason the Manhunters do not actively crack down on illegal residents. On an instinctive level, they are thinking about what will happen after humanity advances into space. What if after everyone leaves Earth, human survival in space becomes difficult? It could be due to an unknown pathogen. It could also be the result of human genes changing in the space environment. Such situations could lead to the extinction of humanity. This is why people instinctively choose to leave some people on Earth to reduce the risk of extinction as much as possible. The Manhunters may seem like an organization that acts out of self-interest or laziness. However, even if only at an unconscious level, they also have a sense of goodwill aimed at protecting humanity as a whole. That concludes the explanation of the true nature of the Manhunters and the meaning behind Hathaway's words, complex structure. The Manhunters' activities align with Maki's ideology. Maki's ultimate goal is the survival of humanity and the Earth. Manhunters are not proactive in carrying out their duties, but deep within their instincts, there is hidden goodwill aimed at ensuring the survival of humanity. It is an extremely complex structure. However, Hathaway faces a very real threat. If humanity does not migrate into space, the Earth's natural environment will be devastated, and ultimately the Earth itself will face extinction. What kind of actions should be taken to resolve this situation? Try thinking about it, yourself imagining that you're Hathaway. You might find yourself saying, "Please tell me how to destroy this incomprehensible structure." Thank you for watching until the end. I will see you again on the next program.